out there? We're on the air, and it's race day today in the streets of the Prairie State. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to not a track, but rather the city streets of the one, then only, the most famous track in all of NR2003, the streets of the city of Thornton, for race number 7 of the 2024 Winston All-American Series, the Dollar General Illinois Grand Prix. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, once again from high, nowhere really above the track, above the streets here, but from pit lane with a lot of monitors with me. My name is Trey Wright for the North American Sim Racing Network. Only 5 laps are on the docket around this 12-mile street course in the heart of the city of Thornton, this blue-collar community here in beautiful Thornton, Illinois, getting ready to kick off race number 7 of 15. We're nearing the halfway point through this season, and with that, the point standings and where everybody finishes is becoming more and more crucial the further we go into this little mini series. And without further ado, we'll go down to your point standings at the bottom of your screen. Roy Ribbleton, who starts 20th on the field this afternoon, is in first with 867 points. 2 points behind him, which equates to 1 spot on the track, is Nathan Orman. He starts 16th. Then you have Caleb Rose, who is the highest starting driver in the top 10 in points. He is 52 points behind Roy Ribbleton coming into today's race. He starts 4th on the grid. Starting 40th, who is 4th on the points, is Jim Vincent Leff, who is minus 77 behind, and then minus 92 behind, rocking P5 in the point standings. Alex Lozano, he starts 14th. Juan Rodriguez, he's 6th in the points. He starts 8th. Brad Stover is 7th. He starts 34th. Starting 15th as a man 8th in the point standings, driving the number 9, the Zin Machine of Matthew Hubert. Then 9th in the points is Cole Sampson. He starts 36th. And the 55 of John Andrews. 10th in the points standings. He starts 22nd. And we'll get your starting lineup out of the way right now, since where we are on the racetrack, we are 1 turn away from the start-finish line. So we'll get the starting lineup on the right-hand screen out of the way. And now that we've got that graphic up, everybody's seen the starting lineup, let's go down trackside, or rather street side, right to the start-finish line at the heart of Main Street / Margaret Street here in Thornton to get the most famous words in motorsports to kick off the Dollar General Illinois Grand Prix.
Drivers, start your engines!
The engines roar to life on the streets of the city of Thornton, all 42 cars ready to do battle here around this legendary racing venue. The most in all of NR2003, Danny Fallington starts on the pole. Peter Oshwalski right beside him. Your race analysis at the bottom of your screen. 5 laps, 12 miles, 14 turns, and all the chaos in the world here at this little track in the blue-collar community of Thornton, Illinois. Green flag is in the air, and we are live from the streets of Thornton. Oh, Rogel Dorn had a weird exit off the first set of corners, or the first set of railroad tracks, and he'll fall back in that 8 machine. That's going to create a log jam, but up front it is Danny Fallington trying to drive away with this one, trying to get some redemption after blowing his motor at Homestead a couple of races ago. Right now, everybody able to get through the first set of corners with ease as they go down on to Cottage Grove rather. It's Fallington who leads the field down. Caleb Rose started 4th. Now he finds his way in 2nd. Right behind the 65 of Fallington. Rose will lose a little bit of ground. Rich Roy goes high. But as the field transitions on the Lansing Street, they're straight. They're all good. And here comes Caleb Rose looking for the race lead. Rose will get it from Fallington and lead the field onto the most unique portion of any track in NR2003. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you State Route 394. A straight stretch of entirely three-way that measures about 3 miles in length, and everybody trundling down this stretch of freeway here as the fans go wild. On the other side of the track as Fallington moves back to the inside of Rose, trying to take that lead away. Logan Williams making himself known to that 13 machine. They're about a half mile out from that interchange onto Interstate 80. Williams will go to second. Rose will fall back a little bit as they enter this heavy braking zone. Fallington, the pole sitter, back to the point. Rushwalski back to second, not for long. Here comes Riley Sampson in the 10. As the field transitions onto the interstate. Marking about halfway through this field, and everybody continuing to keep it straight at the moment. No chaos just yet. We still have 4.5 laps to go. Fallington continues to lead. Rushwalski right behind him. Running 1-2 right now. Coming up on another interchange. And about a half mile, Rushwalski wants to poke down to the inside before they get to the Halstead Street off-ramp. He won't make his move yet. He'll go up the hill. Same with Logan Williams. They fall back. Here comes Riley Sampson to the inside. Now on to the widest section of this track. Halstead Street, about 10 lanes wide. And these guys could catch some air here, especially in that median. They're 4 wide for about 7th. I gotta file it down as they go into Ridge Road. Riley Sampson on the outside wall. Same with Juan Rodriguez, and now Logan Williams gets into Caleb Rose, and those two are gonna go around. Same with Will Parrish in front of the rest of the field. Again, cautions are turned off. Bradley Ream caught up in that. It's Caleb Rose, I believe that is going to be the 35 of Caleb Rose, and he will most likely not be the points leader coming out of today. But meanwhile, pass for the lead. Peter Rushwalski will lead the field back to the stripe in the 38 machine. A lap time of 4 minutes and 27 seconds. So the rest of the field follows suit. That is not what Caleb Rose wanted to happen. He was caught into, and he has got a lot of ground to make up and almost 0 time to do so. And that is not what Caleb Rose wants or needs, especially coming into the next race at Levi Strauss, where we're going to have some LCQs to see who will make the Super Flow Showdown. So Caleb Rose could very well be knocked out of that. But nonetheless, he's got to hope that the 88 and the 95 have some problems as well. But meanwhile, back up front, it's Rushwalski with the race lead. Fallington behind him. Riley Sampson rounds out your podium. And for the moment, it's a 4-car breakaway for this top spot, but I guarantee you that is not going to be the same. Once these guys hit this heavy drafting zone and are going to get all bunched back up, but the field itself starting to spread out a little bit, but now they hit 394 for the second time. Sampson moves down low. This is where they're going to draft off of one another, bunch back up, and problems could occur once they get back onto that on-ramp. Fallington moving to the outside of Rushwalski, but Peter's got a little bit of help from Riley. Now Sampson moves down to the inside of Rushwalski. Door to door for the race lead, getting onto the on-ramp about a half-mile away. At the ramp, it'll be Sampson moving down to the inside. He's got about a fender on the 38, and here comes Dorn. He'll walk up the racetrack a little bit, but keep it straight as they transition back onto the interstate, and it's Riley Sampson who will go to the point. So we look at the field flying by, having that first incident on Ridge Road, which is one of the most dangerous portions of this track. But it's Sampson with the race lead, Rushwalski behind him. Meanwhile, their brothers running more towards the back, Tristan Rushwalski in the 82. And Cole Sampson is somewhere in the middle of the field in the 26. He's currently 27th at the moment. Peter to the inside of Riley as they transition back onto Halstead. Now here comes Donnie Fallington looking to make it 4 wide there for a split second, but he nudges out at the last second. Sampson running on that median. We'll see if he catches any air. He does not. Nobody has at the moment just quite yet, and Rushwalski still to his outside. I gotta be careful if I'm him. Meanwhile, Dorn getting put into the Armco as Samat Oskin will hit the wall. They all keep it straight. We'll see if the rest of the field does, and for the moment, they do. Good shot at Nathan Stapleton's car, but it's Riley Sampson now out front, coming around to 3 laps to go already in the Dollar General Illinois Grand Prix. Still 36 laps remaining in, or 36 miles remaining in this race, so it is far from over. But Juan Rodriguez now creeping his way up into the picture. Oh, Sampson had a good exit there. Going through the woods, transitioning from Schwab Street to Cottage Grove. He's got a good line there in that Wawa number 10. Back in the back, everybody's still keeping it together. Vincent Leff still a little ways behind. We'll check in on Roy Ribbleton, who's been able to dice his way through the field just a little bit. Ribbleton currently in the 23rd position. Orman, in comparison, is a little ways up, so right now Orman would have the championship lead. And the battle for the race lead cooking back up once again, as it's not a race on North American Sim Racing Network without us missing a pass for the race lead. Although at Thornton they do tend to swap the lead a ton here. As to the point goes Juan Rodriguez back onto 394 for the 3rd time here today. Feeling bad for Caleb Rose right now, currently in last, and he is going to need to have a huge next couple of races as Sampson wants that race lead back. They're door to door, a mile until the interchange. They're still racing right there, 207 miles an hour clocking for that 10 machine. They're going to get up to about 209 before they hit the interchange in a quarter mile. And now they doing with that. Oh, that just wads up everybody else. Dorn back to the inside in the 8. He'll take second away from Rushwalski. Fallington back in the mix. And Hubert back up here in the Zen machine. Currently rounding out your top 10. A lot of cars on top of one another at the moment. But right now it is Riley Sampson looking to do the improbable and lead multiple laps here at Thornton. Something that I don't think we've never been here before. So it's not happened here on this channel. But right now, Sampson out front, and he looks to have the dominant car of the afternoon, but still, he's got 2 laps next time by to fend off these guys. 24 miles of defense is going to be a tall task, and already Rogel Dorn putting that 8 machine to the inside. He's going to have to check up as Fallington lost an edge there going through the apex. He is going to lose a lot of ground. Sampson continues to show the way in that 10. 4 wide for second behind them. Samat Ozgen moves to the inside, transitioning behind Ozgen is the 6. Fallington bombing it down low. Dorn into the Armco. Fogelman will get into him, and now Fogelman will turn around but save it. A little bit of a smoke show, but everybody keeps it straight. That was a great save there from Jana Fogelman. Don't see those too often. Riley Sampson through turn 14. Ozgen now up to the 2nd spot. Popsicle sticks in the air already. 2 laps to go in the Dollar General Illinois Grand Prix at Thornton. Riley Sampson leads. Cole Sampson with the fastest lap. Still plenty of race in this one. Someone has gone off track. Couldn't tell who that was, and it's Brian Ferris in the 73. He's going to be right in front of Caleb Rose, but Rose will pass him. Same with Alex Lozano, Alex Sandoval. We'll have to see what caused those cars to get out of shape. But back up front, it is still Riley Sampson who has a good lead over Ozgen. But he's still got about 20 laps to go. Or 20 miles, rather. Until the end of this one. Like I said, it's 20 miles of defense. It's a tall task for the 10 team. But I think they should be up to it. Ozgen with a huge run. He is going to overdrive the corner. But he's going to keep it straight and a huge bomb to the outside. I thought Ozgen was going to run over the 10. And a huge wad of momentum for Samat Ozgen as he takes the race lead away. Tell you, I think Riley was bracing for impact for Samat to hit the back end of that 10 machine. But here comes Riley storming back to the outside. These guys go side by side. That's going to bring in Juan Rodriguez. It's a Ford and a Dodge running 1-2. Ford's running 2nd and 3rd. Now 1st and 3rd as Riley goes to the inside of Samat. 3-car breakaway for the moment as Rushwalski and Dorn catch up to these guys. Tell you, the camera angles here at Thornton are always really funky. But to the inside goes Rodriguez in the 6. Transitioning on to 80 for the 2nd to final time. Still anybody's race. They're door-to-door for the lead. It's the Blue Ovals running 1-2, a bow tie in 3rd. But he's under fire from a Dodge. Dorn pushing the 30, past the 38. Here comes Danny Fallington storming back up on the inside. Buchanan is with them. Right now, I'd say anybody from Riley Sampson all the way back to Dylan Matthews has a solid shot of winning this race, but still, 20 miles to go, I would say. At this point, probably about 15. Oskin to the inside of Sampson, trying to make it work. He might have a little advantage, but I think Riley Sampson will get the run off the corner. Riley in the median, Samat in the left lane. Dorn making it 3 wide for third. Fallington might make it 4 wide. This could be a tight squeeze, transitioning back into Ridge. Fallington trying to get the run on the outside, and he'll find his way to third. Buchanan getting a little squirrely in the 14, but he'll keep it straight for now. Turn 13, Hubert jamming his way there in the 9, but Riley Sampson coming around. Turn 14, white flag is in the air. One more time around Thornton, Illinois, 12 miles to go. And it's a race to the finish. Right now it might be between Sampson, Oskin, Fallington, Rodriguez, and Dorn, but I wouldn't count out Buchanan or any of these guys. Meanwhile, Nathan Orman has found his way into the 12th position. Ribbleton has not had a good race. He finds himself back, and it looks like Skylar Taylor had an accident. We'll have to review it at the end. Sampson with a good bit of momentum, going down onto Cottage for the final time. Does Oskin play the outside lane once again? Does Fallington wait in the wings? Fallington with a huge head of steam on that Keystone Light Dodge. This is where the action will pick up, and he's going to get in the back end of Riley Sampson, and around goes a 30 of Samat Oskin. He wheel hopped it once through the corner. He did it again, but Sampson shut the door, and Samat Oskin will go from hero to hobo in a 0.2 of a second. And now it's between Fallington and Riley Sampson for this lead, but Sampson has got a lot of rear end damage to that Wawa Taurus, and he's on a huge aerodynamic portion of this track. The next 3 sections are huge when it comes to the aero. Can Riley hold on, or can the 65 of Fallington go wire to wire? Danny down to the inside. Who does Juan help? 3 Fords in the top 6. The blue ovals trying to get back to victory lane. Rodriguez will finally help the 65. That's going to stricken the 10 on the outside lane. Fallington back to the race lead. On the on-ramp for the final time, getting back onto 80, and here comes Rodriguez in the 6. Door-to-door between him and the 65. Rogel Dorn now pushing the 6 of Rodriguez to the race lead back onto I-80. Fallington with a power move on the outside in that Visa 65. Rodriguez trying to get back into it, and Riley Sampson trying to stay in this battle. I don't think the rear end damage is as bad as it could be. Riley's fighting hard on that inside. He's going to have one more chance at this. Riley moves down low. He's got a bunch of Fords with him. Rodriguez now fighting with Nathan Buchanan, who's looking to get in this battle. half a mile away from Halstead Street. Riley Sampson still in this one. He's down to the inside. Buchanan behind him. I'm liking where Nathan Buchanan is sitting right now, and just as I say that, Buchanan goes up the hill. That could have been his chance. Riley's going to need a good run down Halstead for the final time, but Danny Fallington has got an even better run. He's got even better drafting help. They could be side by side. Fallington trying to win the pole and win the race, and he's in front of Riley. On to Ridge for the final time. Dorn out of the groove. Dorn out of control, but he's now able to save it. And Fallington trying to get around with a last lap pass. Sampson will have one more opportunity, but he might be a little too far back to get it. Off the final corner. He's going to lead one lap, but it's the most important lap. Danny Fallington won the pole and is going to lead only one lap today, but it's the last one. Danny Fallington wins at Thornton. And it's redemption for the Visa machine. He's been in contention to win this season about 3 different times. And it's heartbreak for Riley Sampson, who led 3 laps today, but just didn't have the arrow to win the final one. Lead the final one, rather. And it's Danny Fallington going to Gatorade victory lane here. Back in here, trying to see where Nathan Orman ended up. Might have passed him. I don't see Orman. Oh, there is Orman. Orman ends this race in 16th and way ahead of Roy Ribbleton, who finishes 25th, and Caleb Rose rounds out the race all the way in 38th. Taking a look at your full standings, Danny Fallington gets the win, Riley Sampson second, Nathan Buchanan rounds out your podium, Juan Rodriguez and Rogel Dorn your top 5, Donnie Fallington 6th, John Andrews 7th, Dylan Matthews 8th, Matthew Hubert 9th, and Peter Rashwalski round out your top 10. Durrani Oskin, a lot of these guys down here, going back from Williams, or about, I think Williams down to everybody else had an incident down here, unfortunately. So as the field heads to pit lane, let's go ahead and review everything that happened to turn drivers around and get them into trouble here in a wild and fun Dollar General Illinois Grand Prix. So as everybody was bouncing off one another on lap 1, Riley Sampson will check up, and as Logan Williams tries to avoid the 10 machine, he's going to lose control of his Ford and get into the 35 of Caleb Rose, and both those cars get a little airborne. Rich Roy also getting in the action back there, and behind there, Will Parrish and Skylar Taylor are going to get into it, and Parrish is going to get into Bradley Ream, and both of those guys end up in a siesta into the woods. But 2 separate accidents put us under the first incident of the afternoon, and unfortunately for Caleb Rose, it is going to cost him dearly in the points. Rose came in only 52 points behind the points lead, and it's going to be a must-win scenario at some point for the 35 team at some point in this season if he wants a shot at the championship. Similar looking incident on lap 3 as Alex Lozano, another guy, top 10 in points. He's 5th in the point standings, gets a little loose, gets hooked there by Alex Sandoval, and Sandoval will turn him into the 73 of Brian Ferris. Burger King on McDonald's crime triggered by Domino's. There's no, or in the A&W car will just go by laughing at all the other food restaurants having some issues there, but another tough break for a guy in the top 5 in points. So the lap before all the chaos happened, Ryan Durrani and Skylar Taylor getting tangled up there together, and Taylor is going to go off into the void, as I like to call it. And you saw Durrani there struggling to get around, and Taylor immediately knocked out of bounds. There are technically track limits here at Thornton, although it just immediately sends you to the garage area. But another tough break for Skylar Taylor. She really can't catch a break here this season. And this was the final incident that we saw live. Samad Ozkin wheel hopping it in the corner, rear-ending the 10 of Riley Sampson, and he spins out into oblivion. He'll make contact with something back in there and set up a chain of events for a fantastic finish that saw the 65 of Danny Fallington go to Gatorade victory lane here after leading only one lap. But that's going to wrap things up here from the city of Illinois. A great race here, a great inaugural race here for the North American Sim Racing Network. We'd like to thank everybody in the city of Illinois for helping us put this on today, and we'll see everybody for the Thornton 13 later this year for the Flow Master GT Championship back all the way in September of 2024. But for now, that's going to wrap it up here for race number 7 of the Winston All-American Series, and the chaos continues next race, where we'll have LCQs to decide who will make the field for the first ever Super Flow Showdown in Little Penny, California, at the Levi Strauss Signature Speedway at that little bull ring here in just a couple of days. But that's all I've got. Thank you all so much for tuning in of today's coverage of the Winston All-American Series. Congratulations once again to Danny Fallington for winning the Dollar General Illinois Grand Prix, and that is going to do it. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, ladies and gentlemen. Here are your point standings after race number 7 of 15, and from Thornton, Illinois, have a great one.